On this episode of the Carolina Sports Guy, we're going to focus on the Carolina Panthers, folks. How real is this rumor? Is there truth? Where there's smoke, there's fire about Deshaun Watson. Before we get into today's video, make sure you subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Pound that like button, hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos like this on the Carolina Panthers. Hey, and folks, leave me some comments. Uncle Chucky loves the dialogue. All right, folks. The rumors are starting to spread. Yeah, I've heard the Eagles, who have a lot more draft capital, have kind of pulled out of Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. 49ers as well. Not that I really thought they were big suitors for him. With the court cases coming down, he's going to face some civil suits, and it's going to cost him some money. And I know the league is probably going to suspend him in, who knows, 2 games, 4 games, maybe a half a season. I'm not sure. It could even be a whole season. Taking a gamble on a guy who didn't really play last year, but he is a world-class talent. Quarterbacks are hard to come by. When he is on the field, he does make a difference. Now, in saying that, you got to give up a lot for a quarterback. Now, you take, for example, with the 6th spot, if a guy like Malik Willis would turn into a Deshaun Watson, that's not saying he would, but if he would, remember, Deshaun played at Clemson. Played for national championships. Malik Willis was supposed to go to Auburn, goes to Liberty. He's a big man on campus, but he played against lesser talent, had lesser talent, and he was like a kid, a big man, playing with kids. Now, there's a lot of skill set to like about Malik Willis, but Deshaun Watson is a proven commodity. Malik Willis might not be. It's a gamble. But if we knew Malik Willis would be Deshaun Watson Part 2, you stay where you are, draft him at 6, everybody wins. You don't give up capital. Sure, there's growing spurts for a year or two, but we'd be better off. But there's no guarantee in that. And as long as Deshaun Watson, even though he sat out that year, if he can come back and play a fresh start with the receivers we have, if we did keep McCaffrey, and that's a critical element, folks, because of the money we had to pay him. But if we did keep him, all we had to do was improve the offensive line by a couple of players. We could have a pretty powerful offense if everything worked out. Now, what do you do about Sam Darnold? What do you do about defense? Because I'm telling you, if we have to give up 3 first-rounders, it's one thing to give up one this year, which is an offensive lineman bye-bye in the draft. But what are you talking about giving up one next year and the following year? And maybe you get up a 2nd rounder. We're really going to have to depend on free agency then, retaining a lot of our own talent and finding some unrestricted free agents, after the draft that might get lucky and hit on, which is very rare. But the key thing is going to be what we have to give up on our defense. Derek Brown would hurt to lose him. To me, it would be far more damaging to lose a Brian Burns. After losing Hassan Reddick, probably to free agency, there goes your pass rush out the window. Losing a guy like J.C. Horn, you just picked with your top number 8 pick in the draft, would really hurt, especially if Dante Jackson walks, especially losing Stephon Gilmore. It would hurt a lot. Or if you lose a Jeremy Chin, there's the only safety we really got right now that's got any star status to his name. How many of them we'd lose, if not all of them, that's a very critical thing. It'd be nice to package Sam Darnold in the deal, but Houston probably doesn't want to be paying that $18 million salary and probably has no use for Darnold. So, in saying that, let's look at the other news of the day, too. It looks like Tom Brady's coming back and playing another year for Tampa Bay. Yeah, he's like the hemorrhoid that won't go away, right? When you think you can put the preparation H back in the cabinet, here comes that old hemorrhoid back. And Brady for another year, and let's hope it would be his last year, is going to basically take Tampa Bay over us again. And, of course, they got some free agents. They're up against the cap. They're going to have to pay some people. They're, I don't think, going to be as good as they were this past year. And, of course, they won the Super Bowl the year before that. But they still have enough talent on defense, on the offensive line, although I think they did lose Ali Marpet, who retired. They're going to still be better than we are and probably still be good enough to win the division if Brady comes back. Another thing is Deshaun Watson sweepstakes. New Orleans is pursuing him. Now you think, okay, well, New Orleans doesn't have the draft capital. Well, remember, Deshaun can go talk to New Orleans and talk to us. New Orleans has won more in the last 5-6 years than we have. That's something that if they're a quarterback away with some of the prospects, of course, they would be gutted on defense. They'd lose some players, maybe an offensive lineman or so. They can end up losing a Kamara or maybe their star-studded receiver. But who knows what it would be. And if Deshaun goes to New Orleans, we're sunk again. Now, if he comes to us with what we lose and New Orleans starting over, Atlanta treading water, still have to deal with Tampa Bay because of Brady, we might have a fighting chance, but we're going to lose some pieces if we get Deshaun Watson, and you're still going to have to do this headache. The last thing you want to see is people walking around in a Panther game with a number 4 Deshaun Watson jersey, and instead of Watson on the back, it says rub and tuck. And it could happen, folks, because people are going to really come down hard on what's happened, especially with this franchise when you look at what happened with Jerry Richardson in the past. It's something to consider. But it does make for an interesting offseason, regardless if David Tepper's made a mistake by keeping Matt Rule or even going after Matt Rule, or when he fired Rivera and didn't fire Honey at the same time. I don't think we can rule out that Federer is a bad GM yet. I mean, I think you got to give him time. We're building the facilities and things out there, and I know there's a little hiccups there, but I think Tepper's trying to spend the money and show it. I know he's got the money where he'll do it to win. However, you can't always buy your championships, and that's one thing. You have to have a football mind, or at least put football people in charge, and sometimes you have to have luck in the coaches and the players that you do acquire. You have to have all of those things fall into place, and you do have to have luck with that. So, folks, what do you think of today's video? Do you think we should pursue Deshaun Watson? If we do you think it's going to elevate our play any? Do you think we keep McCaffrey? Who do you think we can lose on defense? Who do you think that we definitely cannot afford? Because in my opinion, folks, if we lose Burns, we got to hold on to Chin. If we lose Chin, we got to hold on to Burns. I think Derek Brown, we could afford to lose more than one of those two, if not both of those two. I'd hate to see Chin and Burns go, but that's just my opinion. But leave me some comments. I love the dialogue. Pound that like button. Hit that bell notification. Be notified of future videos like this on the Panthers. And by all means, folks, help Uncle Chucky out. Subscribe. It's free. I will see you on another episode of Carolina Sports Guy.